Hello everybody, and welcome to my video report for the full moon in Aquarius that's happening today on August 14th. And I am feeling all sorts of wild today, and I'm going to be on the move pretty soon, so this is going to be a relatively short video compared to the others. I just definitely feel like it's important to share some of the things that I'm thinking around and feeling around this full moon energy, and also to note that this is going to be my last video while I'm in Vermont. So if any of you are interested in getting a birth chart reading or a tarot reading within the next few weeks in Vermont, definitely reach out, and I'd love to get into it with you. So we are in quite the crazy time right now. I think I'm going to talk a little bit first about the context that we're kind of coming out of after this wild Cancer season, Mercury retrograde. So with the Mercury retrogrades, the eclipses that happened in Mercury retrograde and the eclipses that happened in Cancer, this summer so far has been a cleansing. We knew things were building and building through the spring, and we knew some changes, major changes and shifts were underway, and I think that June and July really provided this cathartic sort of release of what was no longer serving us, if it was people, projects, jobs, entities, and this ability to really kind of go deep in the inner world, and whether or not we were intentionally engaging with it or not, I think for a lot of people there was deep transformation that happened on a subconscious level in this inner world space, Cancer ruling the inner world. And so as we moved from Cancer into Leo season, this is kind of Leo is expression. It's sort of taking this, whatever has transformed for us inside ourselves, we're now kind of just maybe tentatively stepping into this like new version of ourselves. And I think that that was really what the new moon was about. This last round was just like, I am who I am, and that is enough, and that is worthy, and being proud of who we are enough to sort of like demonstrate, put ourselves out there in front of other people and in front of our community and for ourselves, just like sort of this more cohesive and unified version of self starting to formulate. And that process is going to take a while. I think this Leo season is sort of like the seed of that sort of coming together. So with this full moon in Aquarius, I think there's a lot of anxious energy right now, as Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, just went retrograde on the 11th, and on the same day Jupiter went direct, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But the Uranus going retrograde and the full moon in Aquarius is like electricity, where Leo is sort of like in the body, it's very warm, it's like this is who I am, it's very subjective. Aquarius is super objective, sort of seeing things from an outside perspective. And so this can be, I think, just a moment of sort of allowing ourselves the space to kind of evolve and transform into a totally new, perhaps more subtle for some people and more drastic for others, version of ourselves that can be really terrifying to kind of be stepping into. And to be, Aquarius provides this capacity to like cool and sort of in a detached way kind of separate from, not allow things to be so heavy and feeling them so heavy and intensely in the body, and to sort of coolly be able to sort of discern and move through like what is for me, what isn't for me, and kind of still sort of this shedding process. I think it can allow us to really kind of shed and let go of the things that are not for us in a way that maybe was a lot harder. Maybe we knew it during that whole Cancer season and the retrograde, and we knew it on a subconscious level, and we sort of had these transformations happening, and now we can kind of just see it a little bit more clearly and directly. Another major factor in this full moon today is that the Sun is conjunct Venus at 22 degrees of Leo, and this is a really powerful, like something that was coming up is like people might not be able to handle who you are becoming right now, people in your community, maybe your family, maybe in work environments, and that it might be jarring for some people, the amount of change that you've undergone and the way that you're kind of learning to express. And the whole Leo Aquarius axis is around individuality and sort of self-expression, and Aquarius allows for kind of that radical breaking free that can only really happen when we're able to be sort of like a little more emotionally detached and can kind of see this all happening from a bird's eye view, you know, sort of like third eye clarity. And I think some of that energy, and with what we have also going on with this Uranus retrograde, we have Mercury coming up to square Uranus, and so that can create a little bit of mental anxiety, a little bit of worry. So I think whatever we can be doing to sort of calm the mind, calm the nervous system down, reground in with the earth, and just like hold on tight, because the changes are underway. And I think this Aquarius energy can be felt in a variety of ways. It can be really soothing and cool and calming and sort of wash over like a cool breeze, or it can create anxiety and overthinking and overanalyzing and stress in that way. And I think definitely this sort of grounding in with the earth right now is going to be one of our major tools for sort of navigating and continuing to like move through. Jupiter, who's been kind of the star of the show for the last few weeks, having all these beautiful trines going on with the planets moving through Leo, is now moving direct again. So things are about to pick up. Momentum's about to start building behind whatever it is we've maybe doing some tinkering, reworking. Things are about to start regaining some momentum. So this is kind of that like last cool kind of like letting go of whatever's kind of holding us back and in our way, as we're kind of stepping into, you know, Sun conjunct Venus, like this is who I am, like I deserve to be loved for exactly who I am and valued, and sort of have that mirrored back to me. And Aquarius allowing you to see more clearly like what parts of your life are holding you back or are unable to sort of create space for the all of who you are through this time of transformation. So yeah, those are kind of some of the major aspects. I'm going to pull some cards. I am having I feel like Aquarius to me is definitely one of the more challenging energies for me to tap into and intuitively kind of understand. And I listen to a lot of astrology videos and stuff, and a lot of folks, a theme in sort of the full moon reports of things I've been listening to is that people can't really put their finger on that the energy of this full moon is kind of like a little challenging to pin down. And I think Aquarius and Uranus, which is now moving retrograde, which will create some more uncertainty and upheaval within kind of our immediate realms as it moves retrograde through Taurus, is about the unknown and the unpredictable and the uncertain, and sort of the chaos in that. And so I think it can be a time to know, like, okay, I know who I am, now I can kind of let the outer world continue to do what it's going to do and sort of provide me with the challenges and the opportunities that I need to grow. But this transformation that's just happened through the summer, I think has allowed us to really kind of have this more cohesive and solid, it's in its seed state, but it's coming together version of who we are, which will sort of serve us through this next chapter of uncertainty, and sort of being able to say, like, okay, you know, what do I have control of and what do I not have control of? And I think control is kind of a big theme here, because with that Uranus moving retrograde, unpredictable things, unpredictable opportunities, unpredictable challenges. But if we have a strong sense of who we are, after we've sort of cleansed the inner world through this June and July, we should be prepared to be for whatever is kind of coming our way. So I'm going to pull 3 cards to hopefully give us just little bit more clarity about, oh, and a fourth one just popped out. Oh, okay. Wow. This is fun. Okay, so we'll start with this. So, Two Pentacles is around balance. It's around, to me, in this imagery, this person's kind of a little contorted and a little uncomfortable. They're kind of working really hard to keep track of Pentacles being material, concrete things. And so, yeah, this can be just a time of, like, Uranus in Taurus, like the more concrete, kind of stable, physical aspects of our lives transforming, and having to sort of be feeling like we're kind of, balancing and navigating those changes. It might be where you're living or your job or, finances, and just kind of like some work that's happening around that, and maybe a little bit of stress happening around that. So the rest of our cards, I think, give us an idea of some ways we can be working with that. So we've got the Sword Mother, which, like, talk about Aquarius, just like Queen of Swords in traditional decks. This is really emotionally intelligent energy. I think sometimes when I think of Aquarius, I think of it as like avoiding emotions, or like sort of saying like emotions are not an important. We need to be pragmatic. We need to be rational. We need to look at look at all of it with sort of this detached feeling. Whereas to me, the Sword Mother has sort of like gone through all of the more petty kind of ways that the element of air can be acting, and has this very responsible and dignified and clear and focused kind of vibe going on, which is really beautiful. And then our last two cards, these are so we've got the Star, which is opportunity, alignment, things coming together, and the Wheel of Fortune, which in this deck is the Comet. So things are about to get going here, and opportunities, I think, are going to be really coming our way. Things are changing and turning, and we're kind of in that, in that seed space right now, as Jupiter's just starting to move direct with whatever we've been working on. We now have this, this is who I am, this is my purpose, this is how I am an artist, Leo, this is how I am a creative, this is how I express, this is how I need to express in order to survive here. And the Aquarius moon is like, we see you, we hold you, we being community, it's this larger social network, social fabric is kind of the Aquarius energy, sort of seeing and saying, like, you are an integral piece of the puzzle. And I often think of with the Aquarius-Leo axis, like, Leo is like, I am who I am a piece of the puzzle, and Aquarius is sort of seeing the way that the whole puzzle fits together, that if everyone is being their most authentic and courageous and honest loving versions of themselves, then we can all fit together, interdependence, like a puzzle. And honestly, that's truly what we need to do in order to survive, is be collectively figuring that out. And to me, the moon kind of feels, this full moon kind of feels like, I see you, like, I see who you are, I see what you're becoming, and you are important, you are a part of this larger web, larger network, and perhaps we can let some of the kind of more mundane, even though they are very real and concrete, stresses sort of take the back seat, as we know that these changes, we need to be uncomfortable. It is normal to be uncomfortable in times of change, and just sort of allowing ourselves that discomfort, because, and just sort of the cool and clear energy that can come with the Aquarius full moon, to be ready for what's coming. We can only see it if we're ready, the opportunities. So, I think that will do it for today. I am, again, have been so grateful to this Vermont community, and cannot wait to continue the next chapter of my journey, which will be in Philadelphia. And thank you so much for tuning in, and please reach out if you're interested in our reading. Take care, y'all.